Welcome, everybody, and we're going to do some data manipulation notes. Let's go to full screen and let's start working through. So, with data manipulation, it's really just taking data from a lab and working through in order to solve for non-givens. So, when you're showing your work, you want to make sure that you're showing all your unknowns with units, equations that you're going to be using, and then any of the given information from your data. Once you've calculated your answer and you're using either calculator or your head, make sure that you're boxing your final answer in the correct number of sig figs with the unit. And if there is a label or identifier to put on there, go ahead and put that on there as well. So the first one, I threw up the data up there in the right-hand corner. We're going to calculate the mass of the water solution. So you need to find something with the mass of water solution. I found it a number to have the water solution is 174.32, and that's grams. And that is the beaker, the cover, and the water solution. In order to get the water solution by itself, you need to subtract the beaker and the cover. So we're going to subtract the beaker first. That's 125.46 grams. That's the beaker. And we're also going to subtract the cover, which is 24.83 grams. That's the cover. Get out your trusty calculator, plug those numbers in, and you should get a final answer of 24.03 grams. And that is water solution. You've just completed your first data manipulation problem, and you're probably thinking, this ain't too hard, Mr. Day. I could do this in my sleep. That's good. The next one we're going to do is the mass of the solid. So if you look up at your data, that would be the mass of the evaporated salt. So that number is 161.87 grams. And that is going to have the beaker, the cover, and the evaporated salt. Again, we're going to subtract the beaker and cover. Okay. Plug that into your trusted calculator, and you should get a final answer of 11.58 grams of evaporated salt, aka the solid. The reason that we call it evaporated salt is the reason that we got it was the water evaporated, leaving just the salt behind. All right, let's move on into the next problem. The next problem says the mass of the water solution. You can do it two ways. The way that I like to do it is you take your answer from number one, which is 24.03, and that is the grams of water solution. And you subtract the salt that we got when we evaporated all the water. And the difference between the water solution and the salt that's left over after the water evaporates is the water. So you plug that into your calculator, you're going to get a nice answer of 12.45 grams. Don't forget to have that unit of grams, and we're going to put the label or identifier of W for water. Now, you all have calculated a percentage. Usually you're calculating it in class, so you're taking the points you've got over the points that you could have had, dividing and then multiplying by 100. the part divided by the whole times 100. We're going to do the same thing with letter D. So for that one, we're going to take the solid, which is the evaporated salt. It's 11.58 grams. You're going to put that over the entire solution. So that was the 24.03 grams. Times 100. And you should get a final answer of 48.19%, and you could put salt on that. All right. So that was that's part of your worksheet part 1. We're going to go ahead and continue. If you have any questions, just let me know. Now, we do have the mass of red marbles, mass of yellow marbles, and then we're going to be doing the percentage by number of red marbles and the percentage by mass of yellow marbles. We're also going to do the percentages according to the numbers that they have. So in order to do these problems, you'll need to also pull up the data manipulation notes, and in there you will find the numbers. So as we work through, you'll be able to further see these numbers. The mass of the red marbles. So they gave us the mass of the basket. And the pen doesn't seem to be wanting to go now. There we go. So we have the basket. And that's going to be equal to 47.68 grams. You have the basket slash yellow marbles slash red marbles. And that's a total of 186.34 grams. And then you have just the basket and red marbles. And that is 99.87 grams. So the first problem is going to ask us to calculate just the mass of the red marbles. So let me change my color real quick and we'll get started. So it's going to be 99.87 grams. And that is the basket slash red marbles. We're going to subtract the basket to get just the mass of the red marbles by themselves. And when you perform that subtraction, you should get a number of 52.19 grams. And that represents the mass of the red marbles. In order to do the yellow marbles, we're going to do something quite similar. With this one, you're going to take the mass that has the yellow marbles, which is 186.34 grams. That is the basket, the yellow marbles, and the red marbles. We're going to subtract the basket and the red marbles. Well, we have a number that has that, so we're going to just do one number, for that, and that is 99.87 grams. And that is basket and red marbles. Cross those out, leaving us just with the yellow marbles with a grand total of 86.4. .47 grams, and that is yellow marbles. All right, so we have the two masses. Now, we are going to move on to the second set of questions. And that first question on there is by number. It's percentage by number. So within our data, it told us that we have 10 red marbles and we have 15 yellow marbles. In order to calculate a percentage, you're going to put the part over the whole. So we're going to take 10 divided by the 25, and we're going to multiply that by 100, giving us an answer of 40. And this pen just doesn't want to cooperate. 40%. Notice how I didn't put a decimal place due to the fact that 10 only has one significant digit. And that is the percentage by number of red marbles. Well, if we wanted to calculate the percentage by mass of yellow or red marbles, okay, we need the mass of red marbles, which we determined to be 52.19 grams. On the bottom, we need the mass of the marbles together. So you can do this two ways. You can take the mass of the yellow, red, and basket and subtract the basket, or you can take and put on the bottom 52.19 plus the 86.47 grams, which is the yellow marbles. After you're done with that, you're going to take that and multiply it by 100, giving you an answer for the percentage by mass of red marbles to be 37.64%. Let's fix that 4 for a second. Okay. And this is, again, red marbles. So let's move on to the yellow marbles, this last set of questions. We're going to do F before we do E. So with F, we're talking about by number. Remember, there are 15 yellow marbles and there are 25 marbles total. So you're going to divide that and then multiply by 100. And you should get an answer of 60. However, there's going to be a decimal place because each of those digits has two significant figures, and that is percentage by mass of yellow marbles. The last question that we have here is the mass percentage of yellow marbles. So this one, we're going to take the mass of the yellow marbles, which is 86.47 grams, divided by, again, I'm going to have it so we add them. Remember, a percentage is the part over the whole times 100, and plug it into your calculator. Make sure you put parentheses when you need them, and you should get 62.36%. And again, that is of yellow marbles. All right, I hope you've learned quite a bit. Go ahead and take your worksheets and let me know if you have any questions.